Hi, it's Mark from Top Local Lead Generation. We're here with Dr. John Paduti of Springs Eternal Natural Health Clinic in Vancouver. How are you doing today, Dr. John?
Doing great, Mark. Thanks for having me.
So, I guess my question is, what would you like to let us know about heartburn?
Yes, so the reason I wanted to do these interviews is I was super excited about getting the message out to people that they don't have to suffer in heartburn pain for the rest of their life with only having drugs or medications for the rest of their life as an option for treatment. So I wanted people to know that there's some fast, natural solutions. In our clinic, we see lots of patients with this, and within a month, on average, people are getting better. Some people faster, some people slower, but just from a natural perspective, when you get to the root cause and you treat it, the symptoms go away. So people don't need to needlessly suffer with heartburn. So that's the main thing we wanted to help people see. And in today, I wanted to kind of cover three different areas. And the first area, we're going to have a couple of interviews. And the first interview today, the three things would be just what's the cause of heartburn physiologically? What does it look like? Why is that happening in the body? Just in case people don't understand that. That'll just be real quick, and then we'll get into the number one problem with the main treatments that the doctor is most likely prescribing for people. And then lastly, I'll give you just one of my favorite stories of a patient where we treated the root cause and then they got better.
Sounds great.
So I'll jump right in, and I'm going to just quickly switch over to the screen sharing. Bear with me here. And so this is a picture of your stomach. Are you able to see that, Mark?
Yeah, now we can see it. Yeah.
Great. So here's the stomach. You got these two sphincters here that hold things together. And the idea behind the physiology of heartburn is you got the acid coming up into the esophagus, causing burning. The big problem with that is basically if that happens for too long, it irritates the lining, and the worst case scenario is we're looking at cancer. So that's why most doctors want to treat it right away. But the problem with that is when you start to decrease your stomach acid, you run into two main issues. And the first one we see is the reason you have stomach acid is to kill off the bad bugs that are coming in on the food that you eat, or I would say that's the biggest issue right there, is that if you decrease your stomach acid, you're not going to protect yourself from certain organisms. Second with that is when you change the stomach acid, when that now dumps its contents into your intestines, down here you can see, this dumps in here, that's going to start to throw off the balance of microorganisms in the intestines. And when that goes off, you get big problems. And that's where you lead to an imbalance in your own good bugs. Now they're not so good, and you get problems that way. So I'd say that's the number one problem we see is long term. If you're taking things that block acid, long term, we're going to see an imbalance in the microflora in your body, and potentially you could lead to other infections. But most of the time it leads to more gas and bloating. And then in the long run, when you have more gas and bloating, that puts back pressure in here and causes a problem. So we'll talk about a little bit more of causes next video, but that's the main issue with taking acid blockers. And then the second main issue is it leads to nutritional deficiencies. So to absorb nutrients, you need a certain pH in your stomach to actually activate enzymes that will help you absorb certain vitamins. So long term, you can run into problems there with nutritional deficiencies. So that's basically the kind of the main issues that I see. There's 6 main causes that we actually look at that are the root causes of heartburn. Not enough time to talk about those, and for my patients, we go in depth on that, but maybe in future videos we can talk more on that. Let me get out of the screen sharing. Are we out of screen sharing?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, great. So lastly, I'll just leave you guys with a quick story of, it's actually a patient that just recently came in, 10 years of having heartburn. She had gone through all the specialists, and she had taken all the acid blockers, and then just, it would work, but then it wouldn't work, and then she was tired of taking medications. she got to where she couldn't go to a restaurant and enjoy, so life was just getting really narrow, limited. She didn't even want to go out and socialize. And so she came in, and I said, well, let's do two things. Let's first figure out what's at the root, and then maybe let's also do some symptom treatment. So we did the symptom treatment while we were waiting for the test results. And I gave her some of the common natural treatments for this. The bad news was she came back and everything was worse. Doing the treatments that, are just focused on the symptoms, things aggravated. The good news was, though, by the time she had come back, we had the results. And so we said, all right, here's our plan, and let's go after this. And some of the things, she had some food allergies and food sensitivities, so we changed that. We looked at inflammation. There was a handful of other things, but outside of talking about the treatments, basically what happened was within 2 days of starting the treatment for the root cause, all of her symptoms went away. So it's just a wonderful case. It's a common case. I can't guarantee that for everybody. Sometimes it takes a while to figure out all the root causes because sometimes they're interconnected. But in the end, when you treat the root cause, things get better. So last thing I want to share with people is just 3 takeaway points. That if we treat the cause, if we find and treat the cause, it's amazing how the body heals. Then I also want to remind people that the treatment for heartburn is really within their control. Maybe they're lacking information, maybe they need some guidance. But if they get that information and then they just work the plan, if they figure out the root cause, it's something that they don't need to suffer from. And then lastly, hopefully it's a little inspiring to know that there's some options out there, that, there's other people who are getting relief from this without taking Tums or medications, not to, there's times and place for different things, but in the end, there's solutions that we don't need to be on those forever. So that's the first interview things I wanted to share. And for anybody who's serious about getting rid of the heartburn by figuring out the root cause, give us a call, or if they know anybody who's interested in that, also maybe share this little video with somebody they love. And in the next interview, I'd love to talk about what people could learn. Is they're going to learn about how to figure out what's type of heartburn they have, like what might be the cause. We talk about things like that, what tests could help them figure that out. And then one of my secret weapons in treating heartburn that helps a lot of people that they might not know about.
So if you need some help with heartburn or any other kind of treatments that in a natural manner, Springs Eternal is a great place to go. Dr. John Paduti, you can reach them at 604-737-0012 or go to their website, springseternal.com. Thanks, Dr. John.
Thank you, Mark.
Boo.